For me, in human design, I am what we call a projector. There are 5 different types. I think what human design does is it really helps us articulate and understand our specific needs in relationships in a way that ensures they're met. There are layers. Like, I think it helps me know as a mom how to get my needs met.
Well, hello, Erin. Yes. I am stoked. I'm just saying this right now. There's so much happening for me today. And just the thought that I'm going to have this conversation with you and we're going to take a deep dive into something that I would honestly say recently, I've kind of been aware of it and I have no idea what it's all about. And I know listeners are like, okay, what is she talking about already? Okay, I know this is exciting, you guys. Seriously, I like to keep you hanging there for a second. But before I actually talk to Miss Erin, I'm actually going to read her bio. So we can understand what I'm saying when I said I have no idea what this is, but it's fascinating and I know it changes lives. So I'm going to read your bio first. How's that?
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. I'm going to slow down here. I am honored to introduce our guest today, Erin Claire Jones. Erin is a globally recognized educator, coach, author, specializing in the systems of human design, a blueprint for how we energetically wired to live, work, love, and lead. Over the past decade, Erin has worked with thousands of individuals, couples, families through one-on-one sessions, custom blueprints, and training programs. She has created more than 43,000 personalized guides and served clients in over 160 countries. Her book, How Do You Choose? A Human Design Guide to What's Best for You at Work, in Love, and in Life, brings this work into real life decisions around career, relationships, and purpose. Erin's heart-led approach is led and help people stop trying to squeeze into someone else's plan and instead trust the intelligence of their own design so they can show up their fullest, most aligned selves. Erin, welcome. We are so glad you are here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my goodness, Erin. So I just said this to Erin a little earlier. We're recording this today and it's kind of special, actually. It's pretty interesting. Today is my actual birthday. And what was really cool is one of the first things that Erin said to me was, she said, hey, let me have your information. And so she asked for obviously the day is my birthday. She asked for the year I was born and she asked for the time I was born. And she also asked me, what was the other one?
The place.
The place. Yeah, the place. Okay. So that to me already was like, wow, this is so cool. So based on that, Erin, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you, and you guys, and that's another thing. Erin's just like, a lot of us, mamas, and she has beautiful children. So she's here today, busy mom, and taking the time to talk to us today. But if we hear one of the little kids coming in or something happening, this is a show for, I'm telling you, I'm a mama of 6. So I'm all
So
for
wild.
this. Yeah, right. We got a lot of kids, girlfriend. So we just do the best we can. So thank you for that, Erin. So she's trying to pour love into us today, you guys, but she got her kids in the back, so we got this. Okay. Erin, so let's start there. I am so fascinated by when I just learned, but I don't know about it, human design. Can you just, for the listeners, just like me, who are just hearing about this, can you give us an overview, like what that is?
Of course.
Okay.
So human design is a system based on your time, date, and place of birth, which is why I asked for those 3 pieces of information. And it really reveals how you are wired to thrive in every part of your life, whether it's how you work, whether it's how you structure your days, whether it's how you parent, whether it's how you show up in relationship, whether it's how you market and promote and get your work out into the world. I think so often, as you said in the intro, I think we can spend our lives emulating others because we think that thing will work for us too, only to discover it doesn't because we're
Yeah.
different. Or we might have friction with a partner because it's like, why aren't you making decisions faster? Why aren't you communicating this way? Why aren't you doing whatever? And I think human design just reminds us that we are all wired so differently. And it gives us very specific language to really understand what that is for ourselves. And I think my experience in sharing human design now for a freaking decade is that it tends to just give people permission to be who they are. What I love so much about the system is that when I sit with somebody, it is so rare that I am telling them anything new. It's more that I'm giving them a language for things they have always known to be true, but never actually allowed themselves to step into. So it really gives us, I would say, to sum it all up, kind of our own unique operating manual that really is meant to be so incredibly practical to help us navigate every scenario in our life in a way that really feels authentic and correct for us.
Oh, wow. Wow. You really explained that so clearly. Thank you for that. That really gives me immediately a different perspective and kind of understanding what this
Mm.
is. Oh, that was really good. Didn't you guys like that? Like I did. Okay. Because I'm right now, I'm listening with you, everyone. I'm serious. This is fascinating to me. Okay. Erin, how did human design come into your world? Where did this start out? Because you said you've been doing this work for about 12 years. So I would
10.
say, oh, 10.
Yeah.
So I would say prior to that, you probably didn't know about human design. I don't know. What happened here?
Oh, I did not know about human design. I think had you told me back then I would spend a decade doing human design, I'd be like, what in the world are you talking about? So I was living in New York City. It was 2015,
Okay.
and I was 25 years old.
Okay.
And I went to a friend's party on the Lower East Side and sat next to a stranger. And the stranger asked to read my human design chart. And I had never heard of human design, like you said.
Yeah.
It was also like super fringe at the time. Like no one I knew had ever heard of human design. It was so out there.
Okay.
But I was definitely open to anything mystical. And I was also at a moment in my own career and life where I was like, things are fine. But like it just didn't feel like I had figured out my thing. It didn't feel like I was really doing work that was so aligned. Like I was consulting for a number of different companies, but it just felt like fine. And so
Okay.
I was definitely like, tell me everything. And
Yeah.
he proceeded to give me the most accurate, insightful reading I'd ever heard. I think, like I shared, it felt like he gave language to my inner experience in a way that just felt so like, how in the world does he know that? But it
Yeah.
also felt confronting because what he named in me was like opposite of everything I'd been choosing. And so I had been like living one life and he was like, you're actually meant to live another. So I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like I
Yeah.
was
Oh, wow.
so
That's
and then it was really crazy, like, just, to
okay. What?
ground it, he was like, "You're meant to make decisions slow and sleep on things," and I was, like, super rash. He was like, "You're meant to be invited into things," and I was like, "I only initiate." He's like, "You're meant to not really be a doer, your energy ebbs and flows," and I was like, "I pride myself by, like, my ability to never stop," So he introduced a totally new way of doing things, and he actually ended that conversation by saying, "Erin, I think you're meant to do this. I think you're meant
No.
to share." Yeah, totally. "I think you're meant to share human design," and I was like, what? Like, it was so bizarre and yet intriguing because I felt so seen. And so I remember I went home that night and he sent me a PDF, back
Okay.
in
Yeah.
back in the day, that was the way to receive human design information. And I just started to kind of approach the system and learn about it more with him. And it really blew my mind. I had come from a
Yeah.
world of startups. I'd come from a number of teams that were amazing but dysfunctional. I felt like nobody understood each other. I was always so attuned to people. All I wanted to do was understand them. And human design just made sense to me. I was like, God, we just like experience so much friction because we're trying to be the same because we don't really understand one another at home and at work. And human design just made sense to me as one really incredible tool and path toward understanding each other.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can only imagine though, like you just said, it was something that you were not even aware of and had no understanding of it. Like seriously, like me. And then he reads, oh goodness, I want you to read mine. No, but hold on, no. I'm just, no, but then he reads something to you and it was truly something like, how is this even possible?
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's very powerful actually. So when you started then, I know that you just mentioned that it really affects all the areas in our life and how we're showing up. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. So when you were able to really start learning about this and
Yeah.
really understanding it and applying it into your own life first before obviously you're going to, share it. and you're like, okay, like, what does this mean? And how can I apply this and do this differently than how I was doing before so I have more alignment? How did that also show up in the matters of the heart with you?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that so in human design, it gives us a lot of interesting information. One of those pieces it gives us is how we are meant to find opportunities.
Okay.
And that can be both career related, but also romantic. And so for me in human design, I am what we call a projector. And I encourage you guys to look up your human design. I encourage you to look it up. You can at humandesignblueprint.com. It won't make all the sense, but you can like start to be like, oh, I'm a projector like Erin.
Okay. Okay.
But so much of being a projector is about being invited into things. I am not really meant to be the one to initiate and chase and run after. I'm really meant to wait for somebody to be like, I see you. I
Ooh.
know you. I want you. And I had spent my life initiating at work and all the ways because I felt like that was what I was supposed to do. And human design was like, just pay attention to who sees you really clearly and who really invites you in. So it's funny to think about that in the context of work because I basically met a stranger that was like, you would be amazing at this and invited me to study human design. That's how the journey began. But I think romantically, I mean, I was so in a phase of my life that was very experimental at that point and trying all kinds of things. But I think what it eventually led me to is I had a best friend. The best friend was the person that made me feel more seen than anyone else in the world, and eventually with time, like he was the one that I chose and he became my partner, my husband, now the father to my children. And so
Yeah.
I think that human design was incredibly helpful in that way because I was like trying so hard to make all these things work. And when I really started to look at relationships through the lens of like, where do I feel the most recognized and seen and invited to be myself? Like there was one place. And so, and also my human design is very much around taking my time to feel into things and not rushing in and not being really spontaneous. You're actually somebody who's more capable of being a bit more spontaneous than me. But I met my now husband when I was 23 years old and we got together when I was 27. So like we had a lot of experience and time and feeling into each other before choosing each other. But I think my human design really helped me learn how to find my way into a relationship that
Yeah.
worked. And then of course honor all the needs once I'm in it because my husband and I are super opposites. But yeah, that invitation piece and really paying attention to where the recognition flowed really easily and who could really meet me at the level of depth I wanted because projectors are just intense and they just like want people that are like intense with them. And I think those things all made it very clear who was meant for me.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really good. That's really good, Erin. Okay. So you said when you started finding out what design you were, can
Yeah.
you list what that is? You're telling people make sure you find out, like what that is. Can
Yes.
you just do a brief breakdown ABC, for us, for me.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
Because my mind right now, I'm not even kidding you. I'm like, okay. So I gotta slow down for me. This is so good. Okay.
Okay. So in human design, there are 5 different types. This is just the first piece of the chart. The reality is that your chart is totally unique to you and it's like you aren't going to have an identical chart to somebody else. So there's a lot beyond your type, but just starting there can be really
Okay.
useful. So you can
Just
look
start.
up just start there. You can look up your chart at humandesignblueprint.com. There will be a wild looking chart. Don't worry about that, but look at what's listed next to type. The
Okay.
5 types are generators, projectors, manifesting generators, manifestors, and reflectors. So high level, just a tidbit about
High
each.
level.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
High level, ladies. High level.
So we'll keep it high because there's so
Yeah.
much. So we'll start with you as a generator. You're a
Okay.
generator, by the way.
Am I a generator?
Indeed, yes.
Okay. So what does
So
that mean? Yeah.
so a generator is somebody that is overflowing with energy. These people are natural doers and creators. And when they feel genuine excitement about what they're doing, their energy and enthusiasm lift up everybody around them. And so one of the biggest lessons for generators is around prioritizing their own satisfaction and fulfillment daily and seeing that not as a selfish choice, but as the most generous thing they can do because their energy ripples out. And I'm so curious about your experience as a mother because I feel like so many generator mothers I have worked with
Hmm.
have felt like they've had to like carry everything, often because they have had to, but like they feel like burdened with taking on every single thing because they are so capable
Mhm.
and really making space for the things that really light them up and excite them, both at home and outside of home, makes them kind of just such an energetically vibrant force in their home. And then I guess the other piece I would share about generators is that you're also somebody who's incredibly magnetic. you're not really somebody who's meant to just like sit at home and be like, what is the thing I'm going to do? Like, you're meant to just be living your life, doing the things you love, and just seeing what naturally sparks your gut and pulls you toward it. And then trusting that instinct, even if it pulls you in incredibly unexpected directions, which it often will. And you're just a gut driven person. How is that all landing, if at all?
Oh, yeah, no, it's very landing, and I know this is not my session, and I'm like, oh, I had so many questions. I felt like that, absolutely. Like my energy has always been exactly kind of pretty much how you said it,
Mhm.
and then I realized through the years, and I don't know anything about human design, but just naturally, I have realized that um, I don't give myself space to. I really enjoy now quiet and to
Yeah.
what's the word, like re-get my energy in a way.
Yeah.
So I've always felt, I feel like I'm in a stage right now of trying to balance, not balance, but shift that, what you said,
Mm,
in knowing how to not always feel that energeticness
mm.
because it's constant.
It is constant. Well, and one thing to pay attention to is like
Mm.
often generators like really sleep the best when they kind of fully use up their energy or throughout the day. Like they're kind of meant to wake up with like a battery that they've got to use. And then like when they use it well, they can sleep well. Like they go to bed and they're like, I'm so delightfully spent. But it doesn't mean you've got to be going all day. It just means that you've got to be using your energy well. And for
Yes.
you as a generator, like that compass, the compass for you is like what feels the most satisfying. Every type in human design has a different signal that reveals whether they're on track. And for you, it's satisfaction. It's end of the day, and you're like, God, I just feel so satisfied with what I did today.
Wow.
So again, this is not about like you're going all day and you're an energizer bunny. Like you have that capacity for sure, but it's more that you are using your energy well. You're using your energy in a satisfying way. You're dropping into bed delightfully spent, like you left it all in the field in the best way.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Okay. So
Okay.
you got so you got the generators and then just briefly the other ones
The
again?
other ones. Okay, so then we've got manifesting generators, which are similar to generators in many ways. They also are very natural doers. They also are very magnetic. They're also gut driven. The difference here is they're often quite multi-passionate. These are my clients that like are moving between lots of different passions at once. They're also like incredibly efficient, which means they can be very disappointed at how slow other people are. So really learning how to embrace their speed without expecting others to match it is
Okay.
a big lesson. I've got a manifesting generator daughter, 2-year-old, and they are wild and also like the most charismatic. Like they are the sun. They're incredible. Then we've got projectors. This is my
Okay.
type.
Okay. What's that?
Projectors are very natural leaders, guides, teachers, not here to do all the doing. Really good at asking the right questions, often find themselves in positions of coach or teacher or therapist. Like they're so attuned to others and so often interested in stewarding others' energy. Their energy really ebbs and flows. So a big lesson for us as projectors is allowing and rest and unproductive rest intentionally and kind of trusting that our gift is not in how much we can do, but really in how we see. And we're really here to be invited in to see who sees our gifts clearly and really invites us in to share them. We've got manifestors.
Okay.
This is my 1-year-old. Manifestors are very, I already see it. I'm like, my God, do I have my work cut out for me? Manifestors are very
What?
innovative. Like they're just
Okay.
so very here to tread their own path. Like they're not really
Okay.
here to do things like anybody else. Like they're so good at starting things, not always loving finishing them, but like they just bring all this like fire and energy to get things started. I think what I'm noticing already in my 1-year-old is she's so particular. She knows
Okay.
exactly how she wants things done. And it's such a manifestor vibe. I even had a
Ah,
client tell me recently
so
that she has a
cute.
manifestor daughter, and the manifestor daughter basically informs her mother how she would like to be parented.
Okay.
And every year it is like, this is what I'd like for my birthday party. Like that's just manifestors like know what they want. And I would say the last piece here is manifestors need to be free. So
Okay.
just like freedom to do what they want, when they want, how they want, that is how they thrive at work and home and beyond. The final type is a reflector. This is the rarest type, just 1% of the population. And these people, I would say, high level, incredibly sensitive to their physical space, magnifying all the energy that they're around. So they've got to be pretty ruthless curators of where they spend time and who they spend it with.
Oh,
And
wow.
they just see, sense, and feel things that most people miss. So being in a place where that perspective is appreciated. And the last piece that I would share is they are so fluid. They are meant to express their purpose in a bajillion different ways over the course of their
Okay.
life, and yet can feel like they've got to figure out their one thing when the reality is they're meant to be so many things.
So many things. Oh my goodness, you got me going, girl. This is so good. Okay, so like you said, so right now she's just giving us the overview of
Mhm.
the different types. And
That's right.
and of course, okay, and of course there's so many different nuggets that go with it
Yeah.
because when she asked me the questions that she asked me is how they put it all together. And she already explained, you guys, even though, let's say, for an example, we'll use me right now. Even though I'm a generator,
Mhm.
there's going to be when she looks at my stuff, all these other things that go with it.
That's
That is
right.
not necessarily going to be like anybody else.
Correct.
Okay, I love this. This is a good. So now I actually have a personal question, really quick. In general, then, what it like without? I know this is generalization. I'm putting her on generalization, without getting the details. What kind of jobs do generators usually do?
You know, it's interesting. I think in my book I do include popular jobs because it is a question I receive often. I'm always
Oh,
a little bit hesitant to like
okay.
put people in a box, and I'll tell you why. I think that like I really do believe that human design is not meant to tell us what we should do, but like how we can best do the thing that we choose. Meaning that like I
Oh,
think that and it's not
I
meant to
like
tell us
that.
who we can partner with, it's meant to tell us like how we can best be with the people we choose. So
I like that.
like
Okay.
as a generator, like generators are very they tend to like diving deep. They tend to like immerse themselves in things. They're really good at mastering things. So like the example that I share in my book of a generator is LeBron James. Like not everybody's going to be like a professional basketball player like setting all the records, but like he's a really great example of like he has this enduring passion. He's been doing this for a long time. He is excellent at what he does. So
Yes.
like I would say for generators, like they do well in jobs where they can like dive really deep into something, where they can like really become a specialist, where they can become an expert, or even like I don't know what you're doing, like amping people up and like being somebody who's bright and like uplifting a lot of people with your energy. So like I've seen them thrive in so many different careers, but I think if it's a role that really feels like they can dive deep into something they're deeply passionate about, and a thing that feels like incredibly satisfying and fulfilling to do, like that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much. That is exactly it. There is something that I'm so deeply into, like real stories and the journeys of people. And I'm fascinated by this. And I'm so passionate about this. And I always felt like it's such an alignment with me. And I felt like so many other things that I did were not such an alignment with me. So that is really cool that you said that. I feel
Yes.
like it's always, I'm always, you know, people will say, damn, you really like to go down to the surface. You good, dude. Like you focus and you just keep going and you like to go deeper and deeper and deeper. A lot of people are like, oh, goodness gracious. Like, you can never have a casual conversation to save your life.
I love it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. This is so good. Now I did. Remember I told you I wrote some questions down that I was like, okay, I think when she starts talking, something's going to come up and something did. So I'm going to read this to you. Okay, hold on. This is my long-winded question I asked. Okay. Your work emphasis not just who we are, but how we are designed to make decisions, communicate, and move through life with less resistance. Could you walk us through a common decision making trap women fall into when their design isn't honored, and how recognizing their energetic blueprint can bring more clarity and freedom in the matters of the heart?
Well, I think that human design, and this is why I called my book How Do You Choose? Like, I think
Yes.
it offers us a bajillion things, like
Okay.
how we create opportunities, how we structure our days. But I think ultimately the most important piece that it offers us is how we can best make decisions. Because I think a lot of us can get really stuck in our head about who we think we should be with or how we should choose
Yes.
somebody or why, blah, blah, blah. And I think
Yes.
human design helps us know how to tap into a deeper, more innate knowing within us that helps us assess the right person or people. And I think this is really important because
Yes.
like and I tell some of these stories in my book too, like I think we can talk ourselves out of our knowing and then enter into relationships and be in that relationship for 5 years. Like it's just I think when we really take the time to really assess who's right from the outset, and again that can change, it's just better for everybody. Um
Yes.
so to give some examples of what I mean by this. So this comes from a part of our chart called authority. So if you look
Okay.
up that crazy looking visual, you'll see that there's a word listed next to authority. And that is basically your way to make decisions. So for you, I'll use you and I as examples.
Okay.
You are a sacral authority. It basically means that you are somebody who's an incredibly gut driven decision maker. It comes fast. As soon as you meet somebody, you
I
probably
know.
why you do pre-calls for podcasts. Like as soon as you meet somebody, you've got like a visceral belly feeling that either pulls you toward that person or pushes you away.
Girlfriend, that is so weird you're saying this. I know. Erin's like, this is what I do, Charlene, for a living. I do this all. Okay. I know. You're like, I know.
No, I'm only laughing because I can't even tell you. I would say like 5 times a day. It's so funny. I share a thing. People are like, it's just so funny you say that. I'm like, this is truly the story of my life. But yes, keep going. I want to hear it.
So you just literally said something that my husband's like, oh my goodness. Can I tell you this? He says this to me. You have never been off. I'm like, yeah, I have. He's like, no, you never. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, you immediately know. How do you
Yeah.
do that? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, how do you do it? They don't even talk sometimes.
But it's so instantaneous and
It's
it's
my
so
body.
yeah, it's your body. Your body just really responds and it usually is like a rising of energy or deflation. It's a pulling towards or it's a pushing
Yes.
away. And the coolest thing about this
What
authority,
is
I don't
that?
have this and I have
Okay.
envy, is that if you are ever feeling disconnected from your gut, one of the most powerful ways to access it is to have somebody around you ask you very specific questions. So, and what I mean by that is if I'm to ask you, like, who do you want to date or where do you want to go for dinner? You might be like, I don't know, so many options. But if I'm to ask you, like, do you want to pursue a relationship with this person? Do you want to go out for dinner, cook at home? Do you want to do this? You might find that you've got like a visceral feeling that you're like, yes, no, yes. And so if you're ever feeling unclear, it's such a powerful way to access that. So when
Oh,
it
I
comes
love
to
that.
matters of the heart for people that have this sacral authority,
Yes.
they are meant to trust that fast, instantaneous gut feeling, and it can change. It might be
Okay.
like, this person's right. Oh, no, they're no longer right. But I think what I see so often in clients is that they will have a gut feeling and then talk themselves out of it, which means
Yes.
they either end a relationship or keep pursuing it. And so, really kind of helping them connect to that body visceral feeling and see like whether that relationship really feels right. I am the opposite. I have what we call an
Okay.
emotional authority, and
What's
there are
that?
7 possible ones. It basically means that I am not meant to trust my instinctive gut feeling. I'm really meant to sleep on things and feel into things. So,
Oh,
whereas some people know immediately, like, I've got to feel it and then like sleep on it and see if I'm still excited and like still excited and still excited. And so, like, courtship
that's
is
good.
essential for me. Like, I just am not meant to be impulsive at all. And, you don't need to wait 4 years, but I do laugh with my husband because, like, long time, like it was not a fast thing. It was very much like over time that we really
He's
found
like,
our
baby, it's been 4 years.
but it
Don't
wasn't
you know me?
I know. But it
It's so cute.
is yeah, for me, I've really got to sleep on things and feel into things. And this is so useful, I would say, also not only in assessing who is right for you, but also once you're in relationship to learn how to make decisions together. Because like my husband is sacral like you, so he knows really fast.
He
I
does.
don't
Okay.
know that. And that's definitely been a point of friction many times before. So yes, I think human design is such a cool tool to help us know how to really connect in the most genuine way to who's right for us. Like some people need to talk things out. They've got to like verbalize things with people they trust and just see how it feels to speak about the person aloud. So it really helps us know how to kind of connect to our own knowing about somebody.
Gosh, you just gave me so much clarity right now, too. And I know you're not even doing the full thing.
Not even close.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, I'm not even kidding now. Now I'm so curious. I'm actually going to have her do it and then not right now and how she does it in her world and pay her whatever I need to do because she's got me so hooked right now. Okay, goodness gracious. This is so good. Okay, so something else came up. I got to ask you this. Okay, this is really good. Wow. Okay. Um Okay, that was okay. Many women listening have been in relationships where they felt misunderstood or like they had to shrink themselves to keep the peace. How can human design help someone show up authentically in love without losing themselves?
Hmm. Oh, great question. I think that, there's not a simple answer because I think human design does that in so many different ways and it pulls from so
Beautiful.
many different parts of the chart. But like, I think what human design does is it really helps us articulate and understand our specific needs in relationships in a way that ensures they're met, and also helps us know where we are impacted by our partner's energy so that we can really take the time and space we need. For example, and then I'll share about you, like, I am married to a generator. A
Okay.
generator is a natural doer. He's got so much stamina. It is amazing. I am not that.
Okay.
If I try to keep up with that, like, it would be not fun for anybody involved, and I do, and I fail often. And so, like, I think one of my core needs in relationships is, like, I need, as a projector, a lot of space and time alone. As
You
you
do.
know, as a mother, I don't get a ton of it, but, like, a
Right.
little bit of it makes a difference.
Okay.
As a projector, I need words of affirmation. Like,
You
I just
do.
need somebody. Yeah, my husband doesn't need it. I offer. I'm like, "Oh, I need this." He does it. He's like, "I don't care." But for
Yeah.
me, like,
Yeah.
I need somebody to be like, "Hey, I love the way that you did this." Like, I need, like, affirmation. Like, I need to feel so deeply seen and recognized. That
Girl,
is the
you
thing
sound
that
like
feels.
my husband.
He's
He needs
probably a
space.
projector too.
I'm not. We're no, 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 no. You literally sound like him. He needs quiet time.
Yeah,
He needs more. He has to think. And I'm
totally.
always like, buddy, like I already know. And he's like, oh, Charlene. He literally sound like, honestly, you're tripping me out right now. You're talking, and I'm like, oh, that's my husband. And then you're talking, I'm like, oh, that's me. We're so opposite that way.
But
And you
see,
and your husband are?
yeah,
That's
totally.
cool.
I
Okay.
know. And but it's so useful because there are
Okay.
these things where it feels like I, like, sometimes feel guilty asking for. I'm like, "Oh no, but I really need this." And
Yeah.
so, and, like, for you, for example, as a generator, like, you need a lot of time and space to do the things you love, both inside and outside of the relationship. And it might also be really meaningful when, like, your husband goes and does those things with you when it's possible. You're also, like, a real, like, relationship person, a community person, like, if we have the time right here. And so it is, I think, important for you to feel like you have this friendship with your husband, even though you're romantic partners, but, like, you also feel like deeply friends, but also that you have a lot of space for community outside of it. And, and you are somebody who's very empathic in your design. So, like, you also, I don't know your husband's design, but, like, you're also going to need some space away from others when people are, like, going through a lot, because, like, you just need a beat, because, like, you can
Yes.
get very in the mode of, like, I've got to fix everything I feel because I feel it all. And so really taking that space to yourself when you need is key. So I think it just gives us so many tools to, like, help articulate to our partners how it is we operate differently than them and what we need. And, like, just that specific example for me of, like, I need words of affirmation, I need acknowledgement, and, like, my husband does not need that. Like,
Okay.
I think has been really helpful of being like, oh God, we're so different. So, like, if you scale that out to all the things, it just helps us know what we need and how to get that need honored.
No, that's really cool. So, like, for an example, so you already kind of like after you do the human design, you already know this is neat, you guys. This is really neat because we actually think we know sometimes what it is we need, but we actually, what I'm hearing right now is when she very first time that someone came to her and talked to her about human design. Okay, this is why this is so cool. She was operating the opposite of actually her human design, which is really her core. That is fascinating to me because you were basically, like you said, the human design had you. No, no, no. We need space. We need time. But you were so it sounded like, okay, look, I'm acting like I know this now. But how's this? You were acting like a generator, but you're not a generator.
That's right.
That's it. That's it. Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay. And so when you're not, so when you're not in alignment with that, that's where that restlessness, confusionness, like, oof, something's off, like all the things, but we're not sure really what's happening. We feel like we're doing things, hey, it's great. What are we doing wrong? But it doesn't feel right. Something's
Mhm.
off. Something's like constantly not in alignment. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So for someone like your husband and like me in a romantic relationship,
Yeah.
as you were talking about what you need, well, maybe break down a little more the two generate, we're talking just two of them. I know there's more, you guys, but we're trying to talk about ourselves right now. But in the generator, what are you noticing overall in generators in the matters of the heart?
Mm.
They like your husband, because
Yeah.
that's me. What do we need?
Well, I think what I've noticed often is that
Mhm.
because generators are so capable and can take on so much, I think it's important for them to not feel taken advantage of because
Yes.
they have so much energy. And so I think that something they often need with those they love, and you can't really expect this from your kids, but at least when they're young, but from a partner, is that like your energy is really respected. That they like want to know what you actually have the energy for. You know, that they're not expecting you to handle everything just because you're capable. That they're like interested in taking things off your plate that free you to do more things that you love. You know, like because the thing is like the generator energy like infects the house, and infect is like a terrible word here, but like it sets the tone. Like if you're lit up by what you're doing daily, everybody's lit up. If you're
Yes, and
not,
no, mama's not. They're all like, I'm like, you guys, it's
yeah,
my own energy. Let me have my own energy. I used to tell them that. I'm like, let me do my own thing too.
totally. And if like you're not, that is felt too. And so like I would say that, I mean, there's a lot that generators need in a home, but that's the thing that comes up the most. And what I see most often with clients is like just to feel like their energy is respected, to feel like there's like genuine interest around like, do you really want to do this? Like, does this feel exciting to you? And like really like letting that be the thing that guides them.
Okay, that's so good. Okay. So, for an example, you know how you just said that when you find out your human design, and you just talked about relationships and how technically our design are opposite, right? And we just show up differently, but we can complement each other in ways and help each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for my single ladies, because the listeners to this podcast, this is fascinating. So, we're about 50-50 at this point. So, we either have single women looking for love, and maybe they've already been married before, not married before, and things just, probably didn't work out, but they're open again.
Yeah.
Okay. And they want to do it differently now. Erin, I'm telling you, they're like, girl, I'm coming to these podcasts so I can, do it differently so I can have what I'm looking for. Right.
Mhm.
And then you have women that are in relationships, that are married, but they also come to the podcast for either clarity. Is something off or right? Am I
Mhm.
okay? Or how can I even have a better relationship with my man?
Mhm.
Okay. These are usually our listeners. Okay. I know my listeners. Got you. Now, let's talk about my single ones, because I think they need to do their human design. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so let's talk about that. So for my listeners that are single, Erin, and they're listening to us right now, and they're like, okay, ladies, I haven't had the best luck with men, and I keep getting in relationships that, I was like Taylor Swift, every time, every relationship is not working. What's wrong with me? There's like, seriously, and there's nothing, right? How can human design actually help them?
Mm. Gosh, so many ways. I think the thing that comes up the most is kind of what we spoke about at the beginning, that I
Yeah.
think that human design offers us two really amazing things. It helps us know how we can find our way into the right opportunities, romantic
Okay.
and business, all the things, and also how we can know those ones are right for us. So I feel like for our single women, like really learning how to what your natural way of entering into the right things is, whether you're meant to make the first move, which some people are, whether you're meant to wait to be invited, whether you're just meant to see who sparks you and follow that gut
Okay.
impulse. And then
Yeah.
really like know, how can you assess whether they're right once you've done that? Like, are you meant to trust your first gut instinct? Are you meant to sleep on things, talk things out,
Ooh, I
whatever
like
that
that.
is? So those are the pieces that come up the most. Like there's so much around how to articulate your needs once you're in a relationship. But like there are also people in human design that like aren't really great on dating apps. Like they're really meant to meet people like through their friends and people they know. This is actually you, you know? So like I think it also can help you know, like, are there strategies that you can employ that maybe you haven't tried yet, or maybe you've been on trying to do certain things in a way that just isn't aligned with your design.
Oh, I love that, you guys. That's really good. And I love how she was just saying too, think about that. So if you felt like a person in the past that just immediately makes decisions like, nope, 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 I know, but it doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
It hasn't necessarily been right. Or the opposite.
Mhm.
This is important because I myself, and she's just telling me, a little bit of part of my human design. And she just literally said, my instinct is pretty spot on. And according to my husband, I've never been wrong, but I have. But according to my husband, that's okay. Because he's the opposite. He literally needs time, just like you. He's like, hold on, process, feel it, take the 24 hours. He might feel or not feel or something's off, but he's like, nope, give me time. Okay. How fascinating that is if you are single and you find even certain little things about you like that. So when you are going, and you're looking for the matters of the heart, you'll find out if you're the one that can trust immediately that instinct.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love this, ladies. Ladies, please do this, okay? So you can find out if you're immediately that one, trusting that instinct, or you're gonna find out. No, don't be so quick, girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're gonna find out
totally.
something, right? You're gonna find out something about yourself. You're gonna be like, no, 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 no. You always think it's the one. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be real with yourself. But your human design says, slow down.
Mhm.
That can make the biggest difference just right. And I know, again,
Totally.
I know, Erin. We're just doing basic stuff right now.
No, but the basic is the best.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
That right there.
Mhm.
So you just said then we had the 5,
Yeah.
okay? And then you were talking about, I want you to list out, because you went to 5, the main ones,
Types,
and
yeah.
then you did something else. You were talking
The
about,
authority, the decision making.
talk about those.
Okay, so there are 7 of those. I'll be brief because it can be like a lot to take in at
Okay.
once.
Just you guys, we're doing a overview again. We have an actual expert on today. How lucky are we? And the expert is going to tell us after this where we can work with her, where we can go, all the things. She has a book too. I haven't even started with the book, so I'm gonna calm down. Remember, I'm a generator, so I gotta calm down. Okay,
The enthusiasm is infectious in the
there
best
you
way. So,
go.
so you can look up your decision making again at humandesignblueprint.com. You'll see a wild looking chart. Look at what's listed under authority.
Okay.
So we talked about sacral, that's you. Trust your gut feeling in the moment.
Okay.
There's emotional, that's me. That's sleep on things, feel into things, give yourself 2 to 3 days, ideally at least. There are
Ooh.
people that are called splenic. They
Ooh.
are meant to be super fast like you, but it's not like a belly feeling. It's like a quiet whisper. It's like an
Ooh.
intuitive hit. It's like a nudge they feel, like a
Okay.
resonance tingle. So
Okay.
it's, and this one is so quiet. So like a lot of time and space alone to connect to it is so important. We have ego authorities, and they're really meant to choose based on like what they desire, what they want. Like you really
Okay.
know when this is a decision's right, when they're like, I must have this, I need it.
Okay.
um,
That's
we
good. Yeah.
we have self-projected and mental authorities, which I'm gonna connect together only because it's overwhelming, but like these 2 authorities are meant to find clarity by talking things out.
Okay.
It is by saying things out loud to people they trust in spaces that feel good, that like their truth just lands. And what I want to clarify here is it's not about looking to others for answers. It's about just the process of verbalizing that brings them the clarity they seek. And then finally, we have lunar authorities, also known
Ooh.
as wait a lunar cycle, known as none. These people are meant to give themselves a full month before they choose, which can sound wild. And yet every
Sounds
reflector I talk
wild.
to is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. So I know that it's not always realistic to give
Okay.
themselves a full month. So I just want to say for those reflectors listening, the key is to just not make a decision from like from a hurried place or a pressured place, but a more kind of relaxed, trusting place, and giving themselves space to disentangle other people's feelings from their own, because they're so sensitive to how others feel about a decision.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So they got to give that more space. Not
Yes.
necessarily. Okay. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you have, bear with me. I'm learning right now. So you have the 5 and then the 7.
Yeah.
Is there another one?
There's so many more.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I know. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The reason why I know
I don't know. There's so many more. Yeah.
everyone's, you guys, what did she just say? Everyone's unique. Okay. She's doing so good. When you wrote the book, then, okay, let's break this down. When you wrote the book, you were able to really break it down in the sense so they can have more clarity
Yeah.
in, okay, so talk about how this book was birthed and, obviously the purpose behind it, because it was basically how, so yeah, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah. I think that
Fascinating.
I feel like it took me a while to write a book, and I think that I didn't want to write a book until like I knew that a new book was needed. I feel like there are a lot of amazing human design books out there, but they're all very textbook like. They're
Okay.
like books that are great for people like me. I'm like,
Yeah.
give me all the details, give me your perspective. I want to hear it all. But I wanted to make something that was more accessible, that was not just for people that wanted to learn human design, but was equally for those who wanted to use human design to live their best life, to find their way into a relationship, to build a business, to whatever, to like just use it to find more flow. And so the book I wrote is less around teaching human design and more around using it. So it's like what are and
Oh,
it's broken down into career and relationships. So it's like you
I
might be like,
love
"Oh, I'm so for those single or married or what partnered people that are like, I am feeling stuck in my relationship, like you're meant to go open to the page on your type in relationships, to open to your authority and relationships, your strategy and relationships, to be like, oh, this is what it means. This is why things are feeling off. And I would say my favorite part of the book is that
yes.
it's so rich in stories. I think it was so important to me when I began the process to not just write a book full of insights, which I know is so easy in the personality assessment space, but like there's only so much a brain can absorb around like all these juicy insights about themselves. So the book is very much rooted in like, okay, how did somebody actually use this in a relationship? What did this mean for somebody's career? And so it really tells the story of human design, not just through insights, but through people's lives, which I think hopefully makes the information land so much better.
Oh, that's so good. Because I know that obviously when I read your bio and how many people you have worked with and how many people you have touched, seriously, incredible. And I know you have thousands of stories. Is there something just for the listener so we can kind of like, oh, is there a story, that you can share with us that you're like, okay, this is one of
Mm.
one of my I know you have so many favorites. I got you. I got you, girl. I know. You're like, Charlene, why are you making me choose right now? Why are you making me choose, Charlene?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
I need
one that
okay.
comes to mind is a client of mine from a couple years ago who and I tell this story in the book, but she came to me and was feeling really unsatisfied in her job, and she was so confused because it was like her dream job. She was like,
Yeah.
"I dreamt about this job forever. It was on my vision board, but once I landed in it, it felt like the worst thing ever."
Oh, wow.
And it was so interesting talking to her because it was so clear that the way she had found her way into that job was like opposite of her design. It was like she's meant to be like you, magnetic, trusting what comes, following her gut, and like she'd been very much like, "This is the thing. I must make it happen." And so she actually quit her job the day after our
Oh.
session, which I don't really recommend. It's like, but she had the flexibility to like not need to work and
Okay.
to like
Okay,
have
you
more
guys, did
space.
you hear that? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, you don't get your human design and
No,
be
no,
like,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Be like, because it's like, you might be like, oh yeah, I'm in the wrong job, but I've also got to support my family or whatever. Like there are nuances to life.
Yeah.
And I think that but it was pretty amazing because she was like, I'm gonna try out this new strategy. And so she tried out
Yeah.
the strategy of like letting things come and then had coffee with a friend, got presented this job. It felt totally right. And she entered into that. And then she kind of built an entire team there. I worked with them. And then she went off to like start her own executive coaching. So it's just been like so fun to watch her journey because I think once she knew what her blueprint was, once she knew how to find opportunities, once she knew how to assess which ones were right, like things just like evolved in the most beautiful way. And I've been so lucky to be able to witness the entire journey. But it was so amazing that we had this moment. And she was like, this job doesn't feel right. And we're like, oh, that's exactly why. And then she was like, and now I know how to find my way to the next one. And I think that's what human design does. It's like it gives
Yes.
us our blueprint in a way that I find very useful because it's not predictive. It's not telling me that I'll be doing human design in 5 years or that I'm going to have another kid. It's more like telling me how to actually navigate each moment in a way that feels true and will help me assess what's right for me at the time that I need to know what's right.
You see, that is just honestly just genius because like that. Look at this. I'm tripping. My body's, getting hyper right now because you're talking. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's fascinating because I think this will give and I know you know this because this is what she does. I'm just speaking, myself. But I think this will truly, genuinely answer so many questions for people.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And not only just answer questions, give us alignment of, hey, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, if you need more time, it's okay. Like,
Totally.
give us permission. Ooh, girl, that is so good. Let me ask you. I know. Look how the time goes. I'm telling you, every time, it's not right. It's not right. This is, and I'm going to say this, and I said this another time. You guys, you know how popular this podcast is becoming. It's blowing up. I'm going to start going into like long form. I'm not, and then they're like, Charlene, you already do long form. You're an hour. No, we're going longer. Not today. Aaron's like, I got the kids. Because seriously, look at how we can really keep going here. You just again, you just told me you're scratching the surface. Are you kidding me? Holy moly, mama. Okay. Wow. Let me ask you this. Depending on connection in marriage, what can the design reveal and how we give and receive love? Okay, I think we kind of answered this one. And how we
Yeah.
get, so I said when it comes to choosing a partner or depending on connection in marriage, what can our design reveal about how we give and receive love? A lot. She just explained that. And how we can honor the difference between the two.
Mhm.
So, you guys, so you know how we talk about when we're looking for a partner or we're in a relationship, there's the difference between having certain core values. That's really important, you guys, because when we're talking about core values is really important because if you guys are so opposite on the core values, it's going to be hard. But what I love about human design is what she just explained to me made me feel warm and fuzzy, my stomach, like all warm and fuzzy. She's like, it's okay, you guys, if our partners are completely a different human design than us. Like she said,
Mhm.
somewhat, that doesn't mean that it can't be just the perfect alignment. When you think
Yeah.
about human design, so either match, they can work it out, right?
Mhm.
Overall, is that true or am I just
Yeah,
saying this?
totally. I think that there can be like a lot of harmony and resonance with people of similar designs, but I think we're often attracted to difference. And I think human design just helps us know how to honor those differences. So I think being with somebody with a really different design is actually a really good thing. It only becomes full of friction when you're trying to be the same.
So when people start understanding their human design, or not understanding, just even get the information, when they work with you, how does that really can be applied in their life? Because are you what I know the work that you do, there's so much levels here. I know that, again, I know you're just giving us overall. But when someone gets to understand or just learning about it and they want to make major changes in their lives, working with someone like you, oh, can you explain that? How cool that is?
Yeah, well, I think it just gives people a framework to think about how they approach every part of their life in a way that feels more true. How to manage their team in a way that works for them, how to be in
Mm.
relationship, how to find a new community, how to parent a kid that's really different than you. So I think that like working, we really kind of just dive into all the pieces of the chart and how they can be really useful to the challenges they're facing. Like human design is endless in what it can offer. So my approach is very focused on like what's actually going on in their life, what feels the hardest, what's not flowing, and like how they can use their design to like find their way back into flow. And again, it is there are no limits to where it can apply. It's like okay, around marketing, around
Yeah.
business, around parenting. And so but it really just helps us again like really understand our blueprint in each of those areas, like how we can promote in the most effective way, how we can pair it in the most effective way for us. So um yeah, so it's kind of endless in terms of working with people, but my work is very responsive to where people are and how I can share the pieces of their design that will be the most meaningful and practical for them.
Yes. And you know what that was really interesting? I just learned this too on this call. Well, I'm learning all this stuff right now. But when you said also, I think as a mother,
Yeah.
until you brought that up, I think you made a comment on our pre-call. I was like, wow, that's cool. Like that can really play. Just touch on that just for a second. Because you're a mother, and how many babies you have? How many kids? You have two?
Yeah. A
Yes.
1 year old, 2 year old, yeah.
Okay. How that plays also a part of us being moms and our children. Because you can look at it, like you just said, you earlier said you have one that is I think she's
A manifestor, and
a
one's a
man, and then
manifesting
the other
for.
one. So that helps you as a mom deal with them.
Yeah, well, I think it's their layers. Like I think it helps me know as a mom how to get my needs met. And, for me as a projector, knowing the importance of time alone and space and rest, even as a mother. But I think it really helps me understand how different my daughters are. Like I'm in a house of four different types. And so I think that like, my kids are little, but I see it in them. And like I'm not really approaching the experience of parenting with any expectation that they'll be anything like me. Like it's really understanding like what they need, and I'm not using it in a really prescriptive way right now. Like I'm treating this one different than this one, but I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
watching. And like, I'm so amazed by how much I can see their designs already. And so I just feel very grateful for the awareness, the simple awareness that these two girls are nothing like me. And I think human design is really helping me make sense of them in a way that I hope just gives them a lot of permission to be themselves.
Oh, 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 I love this. I love that so much. Oh, you guys, honestly, for us mamas out there, because that's the honest truth. Seriously, our kids, each and every one of them, are so different. And we got to honor that. That's something, I've been a mom for many, many years, and it's something that I've always tried to lean into,
Yeah.
honor them. And it's funny because I told you this, I'm an empty nester for the first time. I don't have any more kids at the house. It's kind of weird. And I look at them now and I'm like, oh my goodness. When I talk to them and they talk to me, their experience of me is so different. And if you ask any of my children, they're like, okay, how is mom raising you? And then they all say something completely different. I'm like, what?
Wow. Yeah.
Their experience with me, and I guess the way I showed up with them and their experience with me is fascinating because we're all so different.
Yeah.
And even though I try to raise my kids, the best I can, and I think I did pretty good. They're all happy. They're good. They're healthy, happy, loving people. But I just find it fascinating when they share how I raised them. I'm like, oh, you guys all have different experiences because we're all different. That's pretty
Totally.
cool. And I
Totally.
try to honor that. I really
Yeah.
did. I did. Sometimes I did really well. Sometimes I didn't, but that's motherhood. That's
Yeah, of
motherhood. That's
course.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, seriously, how do we tell us about the book? Where do we find the book? What's the name of the book? I want to get the book. I want to get the book. So
Yeah.
what's the name of this book?
So the book is called How Do You Choose? A Human Design Guide to What's Best for You at Work and Love and in Life. You can find it anywhere books are sold. And then if you guys want to dive deeper into human design, I'm at Erin Claire Jones on Instagram and Human Design Blueprint. And our website's humandesignblueprint.com. And we sell custom guides and education and all the things if you want to dive deeper. And getting a custom guide is a really great way to just kind of really understand all the parts of your chart too.
Fantastic. And on top of that, they can work with you too?
Yes, I do offer very limited sessions, but those are on erinclairejones.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. No, seriously. Is there anything that you want to share that maybe I didn't ask you? Because I know I have to get you off because those kids, and I want to keep you. I'm like, this
No,
is so good. Is there
they
anything that you want to share with anybody before we get off this show?
I mean, I think the only thing I would say is, regardless of whether or not you choose to dive deeper into human design, I think it reminds us of how different we are. And so I think just thinking about whether there are any areas of your life where you're trying to be like somebody else, and reminding yourself that like we're just wired really differently and giving yourself a little bit more permission to lean into that.
Fantastic. You guys get in her world. I'm seriously, go take the assessment, get the book, do the things, do that for yourself. Get that clarity for yourself because that's such a beautiful roadmap. And honestly, and I know that all our listeners, and which I'm so grateful for, they truly are a growth mindset.
Yeah.
They're ready. They're like, oh, this is good. So you guys get into that. Find out if you want to dive deeper. You can dive deeper. You can absolutely dive deeper. Start with the book. Start with her website. Get in her world and her Instagram. You guys, seriously, she's incredible. Her content's amazing.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Erin.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
Erin.
me.
Thank you so much. Until next time. Cheers to great love. If you're loving this podcast and these incredible conversations, please hit the subscribe button and leave a 5-star review. Don't miss an episode because each week I'll be bringing on guests and experts who will share their knowledge about love, dating, and relationships so you can apply it into your own life. I'll see you next week. And until then, cheers to great love.